Did we just witness the death of NXT? Triple H with his big sledgehammer has just came crashing down on the development brand. I don't think he needs a sledgehammer. He could probably hit stuff with his fucking big massive nose and still destroy things. But it looks like this could be the death of NXT. And we'll talk about that more towards the end of the video, because it kind of happened at the end of the show where we've seen the reveal of the new logo. And honestly, it reminds me of the black and gold logo, and the black and gold era of NXT absolutely fucking sucked. That's when it was full of nobodies like Johnny Gargano, Ciampa. I mean, you look at Sami Zayn now on the main roster, then you look at Sami Zayn back then on NXT black and gold. Which Sami Zayn was better? Is it the one with the personality? Is it the one with the character now? Or was it the guy who just fucking wrestled for 30 minutes in a pair of tights? Yes, it is the guy now. So we'll go on a rant when we get towards the end of the video. And I've got nothing positive to say about NXT, Black and Gold, and Triple H, big-nosed, arrogant bastard. But yeah, we'll save that for the end. We'll kick off with what we did get, and it was a year review in NXT 2.0. So basically, it's celebrating a year since the start of NXT 2.0, and they just went through the entire, product of the last year, showing you all the great moments. Started with the Dexter Lumis Indy, wedding. Then they moved on to Braun Breaker and stuff. We seen Toxic Attraction. We had the feud between the family, D'Angelo and Legado del Fantasma. It showed us everything. It showed us the Generation of Jade, and then our heel turn. It showed you the breakup of Nikita Lyons. We've seen some of the University skits. A lot of Chase University. Lots of good stuff here. So there's no denying that. You just watch this and you can see that the last year of NXT 2.0 has been great. And it's arguably been the best show in wrestling over the past year. I think you could make a definite case that it has been. So we kick off the night with the Creed Brothers versus Pretty Deadly steel cage match for the NXT Tag Team titles. I mean, solid match, good match, some good spots. Then we get Damon Kemp comes in. He handcuffs one of the Creed Brothers to the cage. This leaves the other one 2-on-1. I believe it's Brutus that is left 2-on-1. So he gets a bit of offense in, but sooner or later, Pretty Deadly end up getting the upper hand, and they hit him with spilled milk, but honestly, this looked more like spoiled milk. This move looks fucking horrendous, man. And they did it twice, and it looked horrible both times, so I thought maybe it was just the first time they done it, it looked bad, but no, it probably looked worse on the second time. So, I mean, I don't know if this move normally looks good, but tonight it just, I don't know, maybe they got it wrong twice. I do not know, but yeah, spilled milk. I would call this spoiled milk, because this move looks fucking horrendous. So yeah, a good opening match to start the show. Then we get Fallon Henley versus Lash Legend. Fallon Henley wins. Not a lot to say here. Lash Legend, well, I think she has got, a decent personality, a decent character. I do think her, living with Lash Legend segments have been entertaining, and in the ring, she's not really there, then you can tell, because she pretty much loses every match. We then had Von Wagner interrupt Sagna as he offered support to some woman with a knee brace. I don't know if we're supposed to know who these people are, but I've never seen them before, so yeah, he's talking about her injury. She's out for 9 months, and I just don't really care, if we're being honest. I don't really care. Then we get Fallon Henley with Brooke Jensen and the other guy, I forget his name, walking backstage. They bump into Mandy Rose. Brooke Jensen says he's seen Mandy Rose's Instagram post last week, and she looked amazing. And Mandy Rose is acting all cocky, says thank you, and then Brooke Jensen turns and goes, "Your tit." And he's stuttering, so he can't finish the word, and then Mandy Rose is looking at him in disgust, and he goes, "Your titles look amazing." And then Mandy Rose is "In your dreams, kid." And then Jensen looks at the other guy, and the other guy's like, "What do you want from me, kid? I can't help you." And then Jensen asks Mandy how she knows that he is in her dreams. She is in his dreams, because she's been in a lot of them. And then Mandy Rose tells him to keep dreaming, kid, because that's, the only time you're ever going to get with Mandy Rose. And then Fallon defends Jensen's "Who do you think you are?" Mandy Rose says, "You don't talk to the champ like that." She offers Mandy Rose a square go, and Mandy Rose makes fun of her, saying, "Oh, I remember when I won my first match as well." And then Fallon has to get pulled away by the Jensen brothers, or whatever they're called. Are they brothers, or are they just two hillbillies that fight with each other? I don't know, but regardless, really good segment. Then we get Toxic Attraction. Mandy Rose comes out, says that they are the baddest bitches in the yard, and they prove proved that for the past, 300 and odd days. Says that she is fast on her way to become the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, and that Gigi Dolan and Jacy Jane are soon to become 3-time tag team champions. So it's a decent promo here for Toxic Attraction. But then we get Alba Fire coming out, and Alba Fire says where she comes from, people do their talking in the ring, aka I'm boring as fuck, I have no personality, I belong in the indies because all I can do is wrestle in the ring. That's all Alba Fire had to come out and say, right? Didn't have to try and belittle Mandy Rose. All she had to come out and say is, look, I fucking suck, I shouldn't be here, apart from pretending to wrestle in a ring, I can't do anything else. And then she says, I'm going to be your new champion. She screams it, and it was like one of the worst fucking promos I've ever heard. I mean, I'm normally very harsh on Bianca Belair, but maybe Bianca Belair isn't the worst promo person, because it could very well be Alba Fire. And fuck, man, I really hate the sound of the Scottish, maybe, I don't know, I think Alba Fire's got a worse accent than I do, but she sounds fucking awful on TV, so it is what it is. Then we get like a generation of Jade. Jade just basically goes through her, year in NXT, goes over everything she's done, then she kind of like just belittles the entire NXT roster, says that Wendy Chu is like a stuffed human animal, and that she's kind of funny, but she feels sorry for her. Basically just, and then saying that the next year we're going to be here talking about the second year anniversary, because the generation of Jade will continue. Then Wendy Chu says that who would want to live in a generation of Jade anyway. Chu questions whether she would live in a generation of Jade if it was rent-free, but she's like, nah, I choose my apartment. Wendy Chu says that just because she likes to, dress up and sleep and stuff, she can still go in the ring. Then we get Lash Legend appear, not happy that she lost her match. Lash Legend wants the screen time, she wants to be interviewed. But Wendy Chu says something along the lines of, I beat bimbos before, or something like this. And then she just walks away. So I don't know if we're going to get Wendy Chu versus Lash Legend next. But, I mean, I like Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu is pretty entertaining to me. Speaking of what I don't like, the debut of Quincy Elliott. Some big fucking gay guy comes out. I mean, you see Pretty Deadly on the start of the show, and you think that's as gay as it's going to get. But then you get this Quincy Elliott guy looking like a combination of like Goldust, Rico, and Bloody Mabel. Comes out, rubs his ass against the ring post. What is the point? And then he beats some guy called Sean Gallagher. Squash match, who cares? Then we get JD McDonough. He is like in a barber's chair. He's getting like shaved or something. Says he's going to become the new NXT champion and stuff like this. And then the guy cuts him by accident, and then he like fucking wipes the blood on his fingers. Looks like he's about to lick it. Then he tells the guy that's giving him the shave to leave, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not a fan of this JD McDonough, but just having these little vignettes, it's an improvement on just someone wrestling. It is. You can say what you want, but little vignettes just make the show better. And I mean, this wasn't great. It was weird. I didn't really get the point, but just seeing him getting shaved and then wiping the blood of the cut on his fingers, it was weird, but it was decent. That's what it is. Then we get Cameron Grimes. He's in a tag team match against the family, D'Angelo and Two Dimes, or Stacks, or whatever this guy's called. A bit disappointed they didn't do something more with D'Angelo tonight, and to be fair, I think ever since his feud ended with Santos Escobar, he hasn't really been doing much, so I don't know, can we get something new for D'Angelo? But anyway, Joe Gacy comes out to help Cameron Grimes. After the match, Cameron Grimes doesn't want to hug Joe Gacy, so Gacy and the Schisms, or whatever they're called, attack him, and they leave him beat up. Then we get something similar to the Corey Jade thing, but we get it with Braun Breaker now. Looks back on the past year of his career, obviously beating Ciampa for the title, losing to Ziggler, inducting his dad into the Hall of Fame. He mentioned during this that when he won the NXT title, he became the first member of his family to win a singles title in WWE, and I thought that was, looking back, it is probably true, because I mean, Rick Steiner didn't win anything, and Scott Steiner was only there for like a year, and I don't recall Scott Steiner having the Intercontinental title. He challenged for the world title but never won it. I don't think he had the hardcore title or anything like that either. So, I mean, it is probably true, but you wouldn't have thought that. You'd have thought Rick Steiner or Scott Steiner would have won something, but they didn't. Anyway, yeah, it's just an average little, sit down with Braun Breaker. Nothing great. Then we get the Creed brothers. Damon Kemp says the issue. The Creed brothers say Damon Kemp's the issue, and they're going to find him. whatever. Then Tyler Bates talking, he says, I want a rematch. And then he talks about JD McDonough, and he goes, if JD McDonough wants a shot at the title, he's going to have to go through me. Then he walks off. Just, again, boring as fuck. Tyler Bates doesn't belong on a sports entertainment program, belongs on indie wrestling. So get these guys to fuck. It's essentially, that's all they can do. You know, they haven't got, all they can do is, I want to wrestle, and to get the title, you're going to have to go through me. That's about as like, you know, far as these guys can go when they're talking. That's all they've got to say, and we've heard it a million times before, so we don't need it. Tyler Bate, just send him to NXT Europe, because I'm not going to watch that shit, so send him there, then I don't need to see him. Then we get Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark versus Kiana James and Andrea Grace. Nikita Lyons is looking very fat these days. And I don't care if you can't say that, I'm going to say it. Yeah, she's looking fat as fuck. I don't know if she's put on weight, but she's looking very chubby now. And you know, she wins with a kick and then she does the leg drop. I mean, who cares? A throwaway tag team match. We then get Sol Ruka. She is, I guess it's someone new debuting. She's on the beach doing handstands. And then she says, the women of NXT are going to realise that when they wrestle with me, it's not a day at the beach. And that's it. When the vignette ends, it's like, that was shit. So she's at the beach and then she says, they're going to realise it's not a day at the beach. I mean, who cares? We then get the Shizism jump. So the Shizism is two guys that are with Joe Gacy. They jump two black guys in the parking lot. Then security come out to break up. And then one of the security guys turns into the other one and says, you've got a match next. You need to go. We'll handle this. Then we get this match. It's Hank Walker and Javier Bernal. So it's some security guy, and he rips off his t-shirt, and he's got like a dad bod, and then he beats this bum, and the security guy wins the match. And then he wins the match, and the NXT theme plays. The guy doesn't even have his own music. I mean, what the fuck is this? Then Shawn Michaels comes backstage when the security are congratulating the other security guy. He offers him a contract. Then the guy that he beats come up and says, you got lucky out there. And Shawn Michaels turns around and says, like, what a prick. And then the guy walks off and the security dude's like, oh, thanks, Shawn. I'm going to sign this contract right away. It's like, what the fuck was this? I don't get it. It was strange. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just, I don't know. It was weird. We then get another vignette. Oro Mensah arrives next week on NXT. Some guy for Ghana. Who knows? Maybe it's Kofi Kingston's lost brother. Oh no, I'm from Jamaica, man. I mean, fucking who knows? I don't know what's happening here. To me, the roster's way too bloated. Instead of introducing new people, maybe we need to move some people onto like the main roster. I don't know. For me, it's just there's too much people in NXT. I don't know, and then you're having these new people come in, you're having the people from NXT UK come in, it's too much. I mean, come on. We didn't get to see Chase University tonight, right? We didn't get to see any segments or vignettes from Tony D. That's what I want to see. We need more of that, right? So enough of these new people, enough of the bums from the UK. Give us more of the good stuff, you know. That's what we want. Then we get Grayson Waller's outraged that he didn't get voted in the top 4 superstars of the year. Basically, you know, bashes the crowd. Yeah, not a lot to say here. Main event time. It's going to be Carmelo Hayes defending the North American title against Wes Lee, who won the vote, but it's not because he attacks him in the dressing room, slams his head into the locker a couple of times, then he comes out to cut a promo basically saying that he has no opponent, so he won't be defending his title tonight. But then we get Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline. He comes out, challenges Carmelo Hayes. I mean, the match is okay. Sikoa wins. He wins the North American title. And it's now another belt that the Bloodline are going to hold hostage on SmackDown. Why don't you may as well just, at this stage, just move all the belts to SmackDown because they're fucking holding them hostage anyway. So I would just strip everybody of the belts, move all the belts to SmackDown and just keep them hostage in the Bloodline locker room because, I mean, that's the stage it's getting to. Right, so anyway, that happens. I mean, it was a decent match, decent main event. Who really cares? And then Shawn Michaels sends us a message at the end of the show. He's not on screen. It's like a kind of like a promo package where it kind of shows you, you know, the current talents in NXT. And then Michaels says that NXT has been all about, you know, pushing and developing the next generation of talent. So it shows you all the talents. And then at the end, the NXT 2.0 logo flashes up on the screen. And then it gets like electrocuted or something. And then we see the 2.0 disappear. And we get just NXT. And it's in a black and gold, like, kind of logo, color, so to speak, and that's how the show ends, which basically symbolises that NXT 2.0 is gone and we're getting a return of NXT black and gold. And I'm telling you guys, this is a fucking mistake. Is there some things you could change about NXT 2.0? Yes. I don't like the logo. I don't like the bright, colourful colours. I don't. I mean, personally, I would change the logo. So I'm not saying that changing the logo is necessarily a bad thing, but it's a bad thing if the change of the logo also means a change of the product. If changing the logo back to black and gold means that we're going back to the product that black and gold was offering us, then it is a massive mistake, and they need to stop that, because NXT 2.0 has been great. You know, they've been developing stars for Raw and SmackDown. I mean, you look at the likes of Braun Breaker, you look at Tony D, you look at Chase University. These are people that I want to see on the main roster. I mean, you look at Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction. You know, a faction with hot women. That's what we want to see on the main roster. Cora Jade, I'm a big fan of Cora Jade. I want to see Cora Jade on the main roster. When you look back at what we got in NXT Gold, Black and Gold, it was just people. It was indie vanilla midgets wrestling. Your Johnny Garganos, your Ciampas, your Adam Coles, you know, Undisputed Eras. I mean, you look at the women. There was no personalities about them. They didn't have their characters. They had nothing. You know, they were just women that wrestled. And we've already seen these people get called up into the main roster. It hasn't worked. What NXT 2.0 has done over the past year has worked, and you can see that these people will be good on Raw or SmackDown, but. Nah, Triple H is just, he wants to kill the product. He wants to kill WWE. He doesn't want it to be sports entertainment. He wants it to be indie wrestling. And that's pretty much what I think Triple H is going to try and turn not just NXT into, but I think he's doing it to the main roster. I mean, you look at Raw or SmackDown, and I think he is. It's undeniable. He is pushing indie guys, bringing like Johnny Gargano back, less segments, you know, less backstage stuff, less vignettes, and he's doing more, you know, wrestling. Each match now seems to go 15, 20 minutes. And it's not a good sign. That's never drawn. I guarantee you, if you take 10 people from like the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era or anybody, and you show them an episode of NXT 2.0 from the past year, and then you show them an episode of NXT Black and Gold from, let's say, 2-3 years ago, they would prefer NXT 2.0 because it's more similar to what we got in the Ruthless Aggression Era and what we got in the Attitude Era. It's more based around, you know, vignettes. It's based around characters, personalities, entertainment, stuff like that. Black and Gold NXT is based around indie wrestling that no one wants to watch. You know, Ring of Honor, shit like that. So this is a mistake, and you know, Triple H, it is what it is. He's not just changing things on Raw and SmackDown, it looks like he's changing things on NXT as well, and it's not for the better, guys. Who knows, I might make a separate vid on this, but I don't want it to take over the entire NXT 2.0 review. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Overall, I mean, I thought it was a good show. Loved the vignette between Jensen Brooks and Mandy Rose. I thought that was great. But yeah, overall, it wasn't the greatest NXT I've ever seen, but it was decent. You know, the opening match was good as well, I'm not going to lie. I did like the opening steel cage match. It was good. I like Cora Jade, I like Wendy too, I like all that wee stuff, but yeah, no, I'll give it a 4 out of 10, guys. There you go, NXT 2.0, probably the last NXT 2.0 we'll ever see. Is getting a 4 out of 10 for me. Let us know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, peace.